Me and one of my friends were going up to this house, and we had just switched partners, so we're still a little nervous, and it was near the beginning of our day, and it was the first time out, a little bit nervous. So we walk up to this lady's house, and knock on the door. The lady started talking to us after she calmed down her dog, and she was super sweet. Her grandson or nephew was away fighting a fire in Spokane, which was her hometown, so that was hard for her. And she was also really nervous about him because she hadn't heard from him in a while, so that was very nerve-wracking for her, and so she was really searching for some things. But then we got to talking to her, and she was really interested. She wanted Bible studies, she wanted prayer. She said she drove by the Adventist church every so often. She always read the bulletin board because they always had really good, encouraging things to say. And so for me, that was a cool connection. I was like, see, God has been using it already. He wants you to come.
Even if one person was reached throughout the whole weekend, which I know more than people than that were reached, that means the world to me, that we were able to go and reach a couple souls for Jesus, and our efforts were not in vain.
So we started out by getting on the buses at 4 in the morning. So it was an early morning, we're all excited, but we're all really tired too. And so we all pile on the buses. Then we're halfway down the road, and I'm almost asleep. And there's this tree across the road, and we're like, okay, God, what are you gonna have us do? So all the guys get out, and they move the tree, and that was really cool, but it's like, Satan's definitely trying to deter us a little bit. We got to the ferry, and that was fun. It was a huge ferry, so that was a cool experience, a lot of water, and we're all still a little jittery, we're going to talk to a bunch of people in the most godless city in all of Canada, so that's a little bit nerve-wracking.
We got invited to the Nanaimo church to do an outreach effort and share some great controversies along with some different Thrive magazines with the people there. So we arrived at the church at that point, and we started with a short training session, and they were showing us a little bit like what to do while we were there, some key things to say to break down some of the walls while we were communicating with people. Once the training session was over, they were like, hey, we're gonna send you guys out. We're gonna go and start doing some door-to-door. So one of the biggest things with going door-to-door that was my personal fear was rejection. What are they gonna say? How do you communicate with them on a level that they would want to invite Jesus into their heart? Because that's our main goal when we do outreach.
They were telling us what to do, how to do stuff, and people were just really, really nervous. You could tell the vibe, everybody's nervous. They're excited, but they're nervous. And so then we go out into the town, and after we got back on the bus, after the first time, everybody's just buzzing. They're so excited. Everybody probably got the door slammed in their face at least 3 times more than they got a good experience at the door. But those good experiences along the way, I don't know, it's almost addicting. You're just one more for Jesus. And so it was really cool to just be sitting in the bus and just be quiet and you listen to all the different people's stories, and they're all just so excited and on fire for God.
When we knocked on this door, this lady opened the door, and she said oh, I'm Roman Catholic, I don't think anything that you guys would have to offer I'd be interested in, and we don't really want to talk to you. So I felt impressed. I was like, hey, do you like to cook? And so she was like, yeah, I love to cook. I'm super into cooking. I have friends who get together and cook. And so anyway, we get to talking about this and opens up the conversation, and I was like, hey, this magazine here on the front's about cooking and how food can affect your brain. And she was like, oh, I'm so interested in that, I'll take it.
One of the big things they emphasized is be cheerful, be smiley, but don't force it on people, but make sure, if at all possible, that they get the book. Even if they're not interested, but just get it in their home. You never know who's gonna use it or where it's gonna go in the future.
I figured if she took it, she would at least get to know the Thrive magazine and maybe feel compelled over the next few weeks to read the Great Controversy. On the way back, we were able to talk, and people were very encouraged to see that some people were taking interest in Jesus. The faith that we were sharing wasn't just something that we had been raised with our whole lives. It was something that we could share and that we could use to bring others to Christ. It was something that we could obtain for ourselves.
I had the privilege of having a handful of students and working closely with them, and just even seeing how the school operates, how on time they are, how much they love Jesus, how they got a chance to have worships together. We had a chance to interact with them. First night, number of testimonies. But just last night, our second night after doing outreach, when I said, come forward and share how God blessed, dozens of students came forward, eager to share how they were able to share the 3 angels' messages with people, to pray with people, and we had at least 15 new Bible study interests just from the students' interactions with the community alone. I remember asking one of the students, I said, "So what has been your favorite experience here so far?" And they said, "I didn't know how comfortable I could be sharing my faith with a complete stranger. I'm grateful for this opportunity to go door to door because it's strengthened my faith and it's allowed me to get out of my comfort zone."
The harvest is so ripe. You just have to go out and do the work and let God use you. He just needs more laborers. Streams of Light's goal is to get one great controversy in every home in North America. And they really encouraged us to keep passing them out even after the weekend was over and just keep trying to fulfill that goal.
One good